Well, hello, and if you're in the US, that means good morning. If you're in Europe, good afternoon, and Shubh Sandhya if you're in India. Wherever you are, the biggest challenge with meditation, in my view, is actually getting round to it. So, what we're going to be exploring today is how we can build meditation into our daily routine. And my suggestion is that you do it first thing. Later on, it's just quite likely that the meditation will get squeezed by all the other things that come along. So meditate when your mind's clear, and that will help you set up the day. I'm going to lead you through a sequence that you can build in. Nothing complicated, it's something you can do when you've just woken up, but I will do a little more than just starting with meditation, because you actually have to wake up, at least to some extent, before you start meditating. Otherwise, you'll just keep on dreaming. So we need to wake up the body, we need to focus our intention, and we need to set up our posture, and then we can dive into the main part of the practice. So I'll tell you what I do. First thing, I drink water. Could be tea, maybe coffee, but water is good. We're dehydrated after a night's sleep. So you need to stretch a bit. At least I recommend it. Now, personally, I do a whole mindful movement sequence with a bit of qigong and all sorts of things. But it can be quite simple. It can just be stretch your arms. Now, only do this, only follow me if it's okay for your body. But I invite you to do this along with me. Stretch your arms out with the palms facing up. And then just give yourself a nice, oh yes, that feels good. It's first thing in the morning. I like it. And then float the arms down, the palms facing down. Okay? Let's do that again. Energy rising up. Stretching up and floating down. Okay? So we'll leave it there, but of course you could continue for longer. I'm now going to roll my shoulders. Shoulders do tend to be a bit stiff, I think, after a night's sleep. So these are things you can do without even moving from your seat. Just roll your shoulders and do it in quite an intuitive way. With any of these movements that I lead, you really have to take responsibility for what's right for your own body. I'm just going to do something with the neck, and you do need to be quite careful with the neck. But it's really good to do that. Okay, so that will do for now. As I say, you can expand that in all sorts of ways. I mean, some people like to do a whole hour of yoga and then meditate. You know, it depends what you want. But just activating the body, I think, is really good. So let's set up our posture. We want a stable posture. It's good to sit up. And, well, some people do just sit up in bed. But will you have made sufficient transition from sleep if you do that? Beds have associations. So, I'm sitting on a chair. That's a good way to sit. You might be able to sit on the floor. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel them resting down. It's really worth, it's really worth taking a little bit of time to set up the posture. A stable base. If you find yourself sitting like this, unravel it all. Rest your hands and then spine rising up. Okay? I invite you to close your eyes. Actually, it can sometimes be good to have your eyes open a little bit if you're really sleepy. Let's assume you're not sleepy. So eyes closed, because then we cut down the amount of input. We can just settle into our experience. become aware of thoughts, become aware of feelings, emotions. Now, I like to think about the weather. Don't know what the weather's like where you are. It's nice and sunny where I am, but the weather changes all the time, and we accept that. We may moan about it a bit, but what's the internal weather like? What's the weather like today? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it overcast? So just checking in with ourselves. There's one more bit that I like to do before I step into the main practice, and that is to set my intention, to remind me why I'm doing this. And there are some verses that I like to recite. So just hear them and take them in. This human birth is precious, an opportunity to awaken. But this body is impermanent. Ready or not, one day I shall die. So this life, I must know, as the tiny the tiny splash of a raindrop, a thing of beauty that disappears even as it comes into being. The karma I create shapes the course of my life. Life always has difficulties. No one can control it all. Therefore, I recall my heart's longing for freedom, and I resolve to make use of every day and night to realize it. So just let those words sink in. Perhaps something struck you. Perhaps one day I must surely die. Perhaps my heart's longing for freedom. Can you sense that? Can you feel that? So just settling, breathing, and we can imagine that light or energy is descending through the body. So from the crown of the head, we just become aware of the head, as if the head is filling up with awareness or filling up with light, filling with energy. And then we move down to the neck and the throat, sensitive to the body as we come to the shoulders, to the arms, the hands and fingers, body filling with energy and light as we come down the torso, the chest and the upper back, the tummy and the lower back, the bottom, the legs, all the way down to the ankles and the feet resting on the floor. Fully aware, fully present. And now imagining or sensing that we're moving back up again. And as we move up, we're drawing on the earth beneath our feet. The strength, the vitality of the earth moves up through the body, up through the legs, the knees, the thighs, the bottom, up through the torso, tummy, back, and we'll rest in the heart center, the area around the chest, the Just rest our awareness here, and then have a sense of awareness spreading out from here, down the arms, up the neck, to the head. So breathing in, energy rising, breathing out, energy settling. Let's give ourselves a really clear focus now by sensing the movement of the breath in the tummy. If the breath isn't right for you, if the breath is a problem, then just have a sense of the weight resting on the chair. But for most people, the breath is helpful, and there's a range of sensations. Sensations as the breath flows in and the tummy rises, and as the breath flows out and the tummy settles. Perhaps as we take our attention to the abdomen, to the tummy, we can encourage a feeling of being centered, stable, grounded and aware, fully present. Gathering our energy, gathering our energy at the core, gathering, centering, sensing. Every time thoughts come along, and they keep on doing it, let's just notice that. Just remembering our intention. This opportunity to be fully aware. Breath flowing in, breath flowing out. And finally, taking our attention to the heart. Maybe reflecting on the people in our lives, people with whom we share our lives, family, friends, colleagues. All of us with our struggles, all of us with a deep wish for happiness. I'm just sensing that connection. We're not doing this on our own. There are people all over the world joining us in this moment, and so many more people with whom we're connected. So Making a transition now. Just starting to expand our awareness through the body, externalizing our attention, introducing a little movement at the fingers, the toes, the shoulders, and bringing meditation to a close. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your questions. I meditate in the morning and at night. Is reciting the 4 reminders a good practice I can repeat at night? When we start So yes, that is a good question. If you liked the 4 reminders, they're great ways to just recall this is the life that we have. You can do that as much as you like. I think what we're talking about today is establishing a routine. So you could do the 4 reminders in the morning and something else at night. I really just encourage you to explore what the right routine is for you. It doesn't have to be the one that I suggested, but the 4 reminders really speak to the heart, I think. So when we start to practice, when we get involved in a meditation, it's good to really know what we're doing. It's quite easy at the start of a day to just drift into meditation and through meditation. So have a little routine that will help you arrive in the space. The things we did, just to remind you, were drink some water, stretch a bit, and then establish our posture and focus on our intentions. So something like that is going to really support you. You can also work in the course of the meditation with the specific sensations of breathing, and then maybe slightly less precise things like energy, compassion. But all of that will set up the day. So to finish, I want to recite those verses once again. They're drawn from from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. I just love to recite them at the start of a meditation. They really remind me, oh yeah, this is why I'm practicing. So let's hear them again. This human birth is precious, an opportunity to awaken. But this body is impermanent. Ready or not, one day I shall die. So this life I must know as the tiny splash of a raindrop, a thing of beauty that disappears even as it comes into being. The karma I create shapes the course of my life. But however I act, life always has difficulties. No one can control it all. Only the truth can free me and others from suffering forever. Therefore, I recall my heart's longing for freedom and resolve to make use of every day and night to realize it. So thank you so much for sharing this time. It's so valuable. It's so valuable to have this as part of our day. Please continue to explore your meditation practice with us. Have a really great day, and remember, it's a precious opportunity. You can meditate with Roundglass live every single day. Join us anytime at roundglass.com or on our app. We are holistic well-being.